Hello, welcome back to my channel. So here it is, time for the collaboration. So this is week 4, and we are working on binding and completing our journals. Yay! So just a quick reminder of the different creators. We've got 2 every day, Sunday through Wednesday. All right, and if you need to take a screenshot of that, feel free, so you can maybe keep track a little bit. But I also do, in the description box, have everyone's schedule, so that might be the better way to track it. But just in case you want to do that. So yeah, so this is our lovely schedule for the month. I'm so excited. Okay, and just to remind you again how to get in on the drawing so you can win some fabulous prizes. So what you're going to need to do is, for each of the channels of the collaborators, all 8 of us, you need to make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like each of the collaboration videos that we've posted, and comment on each video. And you need to do that week 1 through 4. That way we can track who is participating. And then if you want to get an extra point, at the very end, if you can post a picture of or pictures of your finished journal, that would be fantastic, with the hashtag #AFairySpringCollab24. Do that by April 29th, and do that to the Facebook groups of Crafty Dragon Creations or mine, Creative Paper Artisan, and do that to our groups, not our pages. All of that will be linked below as well. And if you could, please just support our Instagrams, Etsy's, Facebook pages, all of the social platforms that all these creators may have, and just for the sake of kindness and maybe a little extra fairy dust on your day to kind of help us grow, because we're trying to help our smallish, medium-sized channels to grow. Okay? All right. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so you may remember our lovely little covers here, and the 3 signatures that we worked on. And now is the time that I'm going to go ahead and sew the signatures together, of course, the individual signatures. And I came up with a little template because I want to make sure that they're all exactly the same. The holes and the sewing is all exactly the same. So I just took some cardstock here and I measured out the very middle, put a dot there, and then 1.5 inches from each end, just to make that. I thought that kind of felt right. So I'm going to use that template, and I'm going to poke the holes in there, but I'm going to go through real quick and make sure that all of my pages are where I want them to be, because they tend to shift when they're not sewn together, obviously. So I'm just going to make sure everything's where I want it to be. And if you hear snoring in the background, that is my dog, Jessie. She is sleeping next to me as I record this, and she sleeps or snores pretty much as loud as my husband, if I'm going to be honest. So yeah, I don't have the heart to wake her up and make her move. So sorry if you hear a little snore here and there. But all right, so that's about right. Got it kind of cinched down with my binding clip. And then I'm just going to take my awl and just kind of get to poking. Alrighty, so I've got my holes where I need them. Let me grab my twine. Got this, I'm going to use this pretty sage twine. I think that'll look really pretty with all the colors going on here. And I always like to do about three lengths of my signature. It's usually more than I need, but I'd rather have more and just trim it off than not have enough. So did it have 3 lengths along the spine, and then trying to thread twine into a needle is always a challenge, but it's a pretty big needle. I think it's actually a I think it's actually a binding needle. It's huge, and the eye is pretty big too. So that's what I'm going to use. So I don't want any strings dangling on the outside here. So that means that I'm going to start from the inside so that any strings that are left over will be on the inside. And if you want dangly strings on the outside, then you just start from the outside. But for this, I do not want that. So start in the middle. If you have not ever done this before or seen this before, it intimidated me at first, but I tried it and it's really not so bad. So you start in the middle, and it looks like I'm a little bit off already with my on the left here, but my papers aren't quite lined up, but it's a little too late for that. Oh boy. Okay. But you start in the middle, and then you just pick one side or the other. I typically go to the top hole, and then you just pull it tight, make sure everything is nice and tight, and then you go straight to the bottom one. And you just go through there, and then you go back up through the middle, and trying to be careful not to split or like sew into the other string. Just kind of make sure you're in right next to it. and then put the two string ends on each side of that middle. What am I trying to say? You'll see here in a minute. So because you're going to want to tie a knot, so you have one end on one side of that middle section and then one on the other, so that when you tie a knot, you're actually tying a knot onto that middle string. So I hope that makes sense. So as you see here, I have more than I needed, but that gave me some good string to work with, get a good hold of it. So I'm just going to trim it. You can trim it whatever length you want. For this case, I think I want it nice and short and concise. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do with the other two signatures, and I'll be back. Alrighty, so I've got all three of them bound up nicely here. I'm a little frustrated with myself because in this middle one, I guess I got a little bit hasty, and the hole isn't right in the center of the spine. It's off to the side a little bit, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And I think, by the time everything is bound and done, it probably won't be too obvious. So, but that's what happens when you try to hurry or get too excited and you don't pay attention. But story of my life. But I think it'll be okay. So now it's time to get these little covers out and do the deed on here. So this is tab binding that I'm going to be doing. It's called tab binding. And you basically are just creating tabs. And I've decided to alternate between the beautiful purple velvet and like this nice lace, the crocheted lace. So the next thing to really determine is how long that you want the tabs. You have to be careful because if you make them too big, then your whole journal is going to be kind of loosey-goosey, and you don't really want that. But if it's too small, then you're going to end up with a gator mouth. So I'm just going to give myself, I'm going to see if I can eyeball it. I might eyeball it and then measure it just to be sure, but it looks like about 1 3/4 is going to be a good distance. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a few of these in the purple and a few of these in the lace. Alrighty, so let me get these. The first thing I will do is get those glued on, but let me make sure that it's going to all match up with my binding. I want to make sure that the middle is in the middle and that the sides are on the sides. Well, obviously on the sides, but on the right place on the sides. Oh, help me. Okie dokie, so I've got those marked up. Let me get the back cover out of the way for just a minute. I'm going to work front to back. And let me grab my Fabri-Tac here. Oh wait, that's not the right one. Let me get my newer one. I don't want to be struggling too much here. So I'm just going to glue these down in place and go to the next step. Lovely. So now I'm going to glue down this over the top. I printed it out on cardstock. It is one of the papers in my kit. And the cardstock will kind of help hide the bulk. So now we can add our first little signature here and get her all situated. So I'm going to lay it down face down, and all we're going to do is glue the little tabs onto the back of this signature. And I'm really glad that I left space. I hadn't really thought about it until now, but I left enough space where the tabs won't be covering anything. So I'm just going to glue them all down like this, and then we will continue on. So now here comes the fun part. Definitely want to make sure that these are good and dry. But now we will go on to the kind of the other alternating tabs. And I think I've done it before with all the same tabs, and it looks fantastic that way too. But I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out, because I think alternating the tabs is going to make it even more interesting, I think. So I'm just going to glue those in between the three, and then I will glue those down, and then when that's dry, then I'll glue these on the back of this signature. Okay, now it's time to get back to the velvet purple, or purple velvet, and get those tabs cut up again, 3 of them. So what we're going to do is just kind of repeat the process again, how we did the first 3 purple tabs. Just kind of alternate them in between the lace tabs and get that all glued down. Okay, so can you guess what the next step is? That's right. You guessed it. We're going to lay this one down and then fold those tabs and glue them back on the back of this one like we did the first time around. Okay, so since the next section is going to be the actual back cover, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm not going to glue the next tabs onto the signature yet. We're going to deal with the cover first. But let me go ahead and cut the tabs. They don't necessarily need to be as long as the other pieces because there's nothing going to be in between that back signature and the back cover itself. I'll have it be, it'll probably be close, but there's really nothing going to be sitting in between those two pieces. So what I will do next is take the cardstock kind of end paper, glue that down, wrap the purple velvet around that, and then glue the tab down, if that makes sense. I think that'll look the best. Alrighty, that is finished. I think that's a good way to do it. It kind of gives it a nice finished look there. So now is the time to take the last two tabs. Let me make that straightened a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to glue these down. And then make sure that the covers are lined up. Everything is as it should be. And then I will very carefully glue the that final tab down to that cover. Now I feel like I want to kind of finish off the edges of that lace. I mean, it doesn't look horrible, but I feel like I want to zhuzh it up just a little bit more. So I'm going to play around with these flowers. I think that might look nice on there. I don't know if I want to do like a whole field of flowers or just a couple on the edges to kind of make that look more finished. Let me play around with this for just a little bit. Okay, I think I just like the two flowers there. Now let's take a look. Doesn't that look fun? I love it. I really do love it. In hindsight, I could have maybe made another signature to make the lace tabs a little bit more pronounced. I don't know. I think it looks pretty good there. Anyway, so get some of the glue, extra glue that got on there. But I'm thinking that's looking pretty good. So let us work on the closure. I have this purpley goldish ribbon that I've been sitting on for the longest time. And I think this works actually perfect with the colors in this journal. So I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm just going to cut a long piece. Actually, it looks like there's no cutting, that's the end of it. So that works out well. Just cut the end off there. And yeah, I'm just going to wrap it around and tie a nice big bow. There's already so much going on, I feel like, in this journal that just something simple like this will do the trick. And just kind of get the bow situated right. This kind of ribbon sometimes is a little hard to work with because it's fluffy and kind of unruly. But I think if I work with it a little bit, I can get a nice little bow going there. I think that will work. Yeah, I think that looks nice. So here we have it, guys. Here she is, from the spine and the pretty signatures, kind of things peeking out everywhere, just the way I like it. I'm really happy with how this turned out, even with a couple of my little boo-boos here and there, but you know, that makes it just that much more authentic, right? So I'm probably going to do another video of just kind of a final flip through. That will be coming soon. There's a couple of things I may add in here and there, just as I'm thinking of things. Not necessarily worth taking your time on video, but you'll be able to see everything that I've come up with, any last minute ideas. So I sure do appreciate you guys following this collaboration. I sure hope it has been inspiring. I know that all the other ladies have worked so hard on their journals as well, and they've just created such beautiful journals. I've gotten so many good ideas. I can't wait to get to play with those ideas as well. Please do check out the rest of the ladies' videos this week. And thank you so much for your support. And don't forget to like and comment and subscribe so you can get in on the drawings. We'll see you later.